Experts warn California is set for a mega earthquake following unusual parade of cyclones. Experts have warned that California is set to experience a series of mega earthquakes that will permanently alter the geography of the state. What we're witnessing in California right now is unlike anything we've ever seen before. Over the last few weeks, a parade of cyclones has hammered the state. Unfortunately, these storms are far from over because atmospheric rivers will continue to funnel more rain into California for at least several more days. What most people don't realize, however, is that a decade ago, John Paul Jackson had a supernatural experience in which he saw what he was shown was, quote, a storm of incredible force, end quote, would hit California, and that it would be a sign that precedes the big earthquake. And you can see the video of John Paul Jackson describing what he saw. And of the American Dream reports, if you live on the West Coast, the video that you watch should chill you to the core. The following is a very rough transcript of John Paul Jackson's remarks. Quote, there is an earthquake that has been predicted to devastate California, meaning skyscrapers are going to fall. As we know, of course, they can only stand up to a 7 magnitude earthquake. The same goes for New York City. My parents, as you know, many times I told you before, my parents were architects and they used to work for architectural firms putting up skyscrapers in Manhattan. And they explained to me that they will not stand over a 7 magnitude earthquake. It's just too expensive to build anything that could stand beyond 7 magnitude Richter. So the same thing goes for California, meaning skyscrapers, Jackson says, are going to fall, that the shape of the United States will change after that earthquake. That won't happen until after there's a storm. A major storm is going to come to California. It's either a hurricane of incredible force or it is a storm of incredible force. But a great, great hurricane or incredible force is going to come to California, and the earthquake that destroys it will not happen until after that takes place. So there's a way of saying, okay, I have time, but that doesn't mean it won't be an earthquake tomorrow, 7.5, or next week or 2 weeks from now of some magnitude. I'm talking about the one that changes the shape of California, where you don't want to live in California, anywhere in California, when that happens, or perhaps even most of the West Coast, where an inland ocean is formed and Baja becomes an island, and the mouth of the inland ocean forms between San Diego and Los Angeles. That's going to happen before that storm comes. That is a sign that God is giving to the people. Don't worry about that big one, because this sign will happen first, he says. For years, I wondered what a storm of this nature would look like. Unfortunately, it appears that this type of storm that John Paul Jackson described has finally arrived. The hits keep coming to California as the state deals with an onslaught of atmospheric river storms that has brought torrential rain and life-threatening flooding, mudslides, and debris flows to many parts of the state. Widespread flooding was reported across California on Monday, with more than 300 reports of flooding coming into various National Weather Service offices across the state. While heavy rain drenched much of the Golden State, Santa Barbara, Ventura, and San Luis Obispo counties were hit especially hard, with more than 15 inches of rain falling in higher elevations. Needless to say, the atmospheric rivers that have been pummeling California are not hurricanes, but CNN just posted an article that compares them to hurricanes. NOAA hurricane hunters might be just as busy now as they were during hurricane season. However, it's not hurricanes they're flying through, but the atmospheric river systems plaguing California since Christmas week. Atmospheric rivers may not make headlines in the same way hurricanes do, but they can have extreme consequences. Atmospheric rivers can span the whole Pacific. They are long and narrow, but they're way larger than hurricanes, Atmospheric River Reconnaissance Coordinator Anna Wilson said. It's interesting to note that at the time when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been seeking more attention than ever, the town in California where they live has been getting hit particularly hard. The town of Montecito, home to Britain's Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle, was pounded by rain, threatening dangerous mudslides on hills already sodded by weeks of downpours and sparking an evacuation order. Because the mountains are right there, when it really rains, it comes down at a really high rate. It's pretty dangerous pretty quickly, resident Daniel de Moyer told AFP. Montecito is normally such an incredibly beautiful place, but now flooding has brought absolutely catastrophic conditions. As Ellen DeGeneres has publicly admitted, local residents have never seen anything like this. Sadly, a lot more rain is coming. In fact, it's being reported that another massive cyclone will slam into the Pacific coast on Wednesday. As the latest storm to batter California begins to let off on Tuesday, leaving severe flooding and destruction in its wake, residents will be bracing for another enormous cyclone to slam into the Pacific coast on Wednesday, forecasters predicted. According to the latest short-range forecast from the National Weather Service, NWS, this rapidly intensifying weather system will impact areas from Northern California and up to the coast into the Pacific Northwest. And forecasters are warning that even more storms are coming after that one. What we're witnessing is definitely not normal. National Weather Service Dr. Levy Cohen tweeted, "The tyranny of the Pacific Jet extension will continue for at least a few more days in California. I'm not an expert on California rainfall climatology, but it seems remarkable to see this train of events in a La Nina year. Hope they get a break from flooding soon," she said. Now, so this is definitely what John Paul Jackson saw. Is this what he saw so many years ago? I don't think that we can say for sure, but without a doubt, this storm seems to fit. And as I was doing research for this piece, I actually found an old Newsweek article. He says that discussed a scientific study that concluded that earthquakes along the San Andreas Fault can actually be caused by rainfall. Earthquakes along the San Andreas Fault in California are being triggered by winter rain and snowfall, scientists have discovered. The finding is important as it helps us understand what triggers earthquakes and when they are more likely to strike. I'm certainly not suggesting that the big one must happen immediately. It could happen very soon, or it could happen at some point down the road. But if these cyclones that have been hitting California are what John Paul Jackson saw, that means that there is now nothing holding back the arrival of the great earthquake that will permanently alter the geography of California. This is by Sean Adeltipa by News Punch. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box.